All right. Good evening, everybody. I want us to focus this evening's class again on integrity. And one of the things that I want to look at this evening, and I'm going to be very brief because I'm actually going to get cut off shortly. One of the things, Dr. Uber and Grandmaster, I want to focus on this evening is integrity within immigration and travel. I want to focus on looking at the dynamics of following protocols, looking at the dynamics of being able to sort out visas, visa applications, and doing them in the correct way. And I also want to look at your character as you grow and you build your global space, your global ability, and your global reach. Most individuals don't focus on the long-term picture. A lot of times individuals get the chance to do one trip and they treat that trip as if they will never ever travel again. They will never ever go on another trip. And they disrespect and dishonor covenants and permissions and laws and regulations. And I want us as ambassadors to be very mindful that if you're going to be building a global life changing perspective or paradigm, you have to maintain your integrity. Your integrity is very important. I also want to acknowledge this evening Her Excellency Doreen Barunji, who is our COO for the class of Steele. And Her Excellency Doreen is the owner. We're the owners of a travel agency called Beyond the Sky Travel. So, Dr. Uber, I would like you to pull on Her Excellency Doreen Barunji so that she will also add value to this evening's class when it comes to looking at immigration and policies and what is expected of you as a traveler. So the three persons that I really want to open the floor to this evening would be Her Excellency Doreen Barunji. Your Excellency Doreen, are you available to speak and share this evening, ma'am?
Uh, Good evening to you all, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele. Yes, I'm available. I'm available, Your Excellency.
Okay, so when I get kicked off and you see me go, don't expect me back, but you guys would carry on the class very competently. I will expect to have a good class from you guys. So Doreen, yourself, Grandmaster, and Dr. Uber, and any other person who wants to share in the discussion, you are free to do so. Before I do that, Dr. Uber, are you on Wi-Fi or on you on mobile data? Which one are you on, Dr. Uber?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
So you are on a dedicated line that you will stay the course of time, yes?
Yes, Your Excellency.
All right, well done. So everybody, welcome to this evening's class. Have yourself fun. I want you to listen to what is being shared, and I want you to take notes. And next Saturday, I will be following up on all of the things that we discussed and we shared in this evening's class because we will be doing the recording. For myself, I'm going to be very brief this evening because I'm on travels and I'm seated inside of a lounge. And Dr. Uber, I'm going to make you right now. Dr. Uber, I'm going to unmute yourself and I'm going to make you the host because my alert just went off that I'm going to die. So Dr. Uber, unmute yourself and let me make you the host. Okay, So Dr. Uber, you are officially the host of this evening's meeting. Blessings, and all of you. I want to wish you guys a fantastic evening. Have some fun. Follow the lead. Dr. Uber is in a hot seat this evening. So I'm going to just sit back and watch you guys for the moments before I cut off. Dr. Uber, over to you this evening. And you guys have a fantastic time. I love you guys and looking forward to this evening's session. And the link, I'll post the link in the chat for the you. Oh, whoa. 1 second. Let me get the YouTube link for you guys quickly before I.
Okay. Hello everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, can everyone hear me at this point?
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. I'm on unexpected hot seat tonight, but we're gonna move on as it is. Just trying out my microphone to see if everyone is hearing me from this end. If everyone is hearing me, can I see you wave your hands? Okay. If you can hear me, just wave your hands. Let me see. Let me see you wave your hands. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. Yes. All right. I want to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Grandmaster. Can you wave your hands, Grandmaster? Okay, that's correct. Okay. It's all right. That's what it is. You're welcome to the class of Steele. Class of Steele is an international platform, actually a mentoring platform that focuses. This is a youth version of this very class. We have the adult version, but this very version targets youth between the age of 18 and 44. So, and our focus in this very class is on leadership, and we have certain areas we are looking up to. That's integrity, looking at long-term economy, and as well as facilitating the capacity of the youth to become relevant in the global market. etc., etc. So for a couple of weeks now, we've been on integrity. We've been looking at integrity. What's integrity? And different phases of integrity. Last week, we had a wonderful conversation on integrity. And I tell you, I learned a lot from that conversation because His Excellency, Dr. Steele, gave us an opportunity to express ourselves and on this very subject. And today, here we are. This is an unexpected, I'm an unexpected hot seat now. So we just have to do something. And this class must go on, I tell you the truth. So we have to do something. We have to start somewhere. And for us to start, I would like to take this time out to acknowledge everyone that is on board today. I want to acknowledge Her Excellency, Mr. Steele, who is here right now. And once again, I want to acknowledge His Excellency Grandmaster. And I want to acknowledge Her Excellency Bishop Dr. Comfort from Ghana. I can see you on board now. And I want to acknowledge all the excellencies and the team of STEAM that are already on board at this moment. And every other person that are here this evening, you're welcome to the class of Steele. So where do we start today? Where do we start? Okay, before we start, I would like to give Grandmaster an opportunity to say something in respect to the class of Steele and the subject we are treating so far. We are still on integrity, remember? And we are going to continue from there. Today, we are going to open it up for a discussion to continue from where we stopped last week. So, Your Excellency, Grandmaster, can you just say something about this class and share one or two things on integrity? Because that's where we are. We are still on that point. Okay, Your Excellency, you can unmute yourself now.
There we go, sir.
Okay.
Sorry. Being the host, that's your job.
Yeah, sorry for that. I'm getting there gradually.
Hey, that's quite all right. Welcome everybody to this edition of the Class of Steele. Welcome to all our excellencies that are gathered here, as well as all the participants from all over the world. In terms of integrity, we've been pretty hot and heavy over the past couple of weeks discussing the tenets of integrity. Now that we know what it is and how it works, especially with last week's class was pretty heated in terms of conversation and coming to an understanding of integrity, in particular on the workplace. That helped out a lot. It helped us to come to a clear understanding in as much as what that integrity was and how doing certain and acting in certain ways would not compromise our integrity. It wouldn't compromise our position at work, and most importantly, it wouldn't compromise our morals. And hopefully, we've distinguished between that type of excuse me, that type of integrity and integrity in our personal lives and integrity on the job. So hopefully, everybody had a clear understanding of that. If you didn't, we can rehash just a few of those questions towards the end of this program as we go along. But as we go, Dr. Uba, if possible, I think my portion of it was dealing with the integrity from a security standpoint and travel. Do we want to review, first of all, anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to put forth in review regarding last week's discussion on integrity? Show of hands. Okay. If not, we'll move forward. Dr. Uber, do I have the floor?
Yes, you can move forward. You can move forward.
Thank you, sir. And Your Excellency, Doreen, if you can chime in here, wherever I'm going to discuss just a few of the issues with integrity from a security standpoint in terms of travel. In my years of field work and study that I've dealt with personal protection and security and travel, one of the things that I notice, and we'll start from a basic, just ground roots understanding of that. Many of us find ourselves from time to time in situations that may not have been conducive to where we wanted to be on the other side of the law. It could be as minor as traffic violations in our particular areas. Hopefully nothing more urgent than traffic violations. But these are some of the basic things that as we travel and as we prepare our itineraries, and as we seek to make sure our paperwork in terms of visas, passports, that type of thing is up to date from our point of origin, one thing that I encourage everyone to do, and it behooves everyone to do, is make sure that we have clean and clear police records. Does everybody understand me? Just wave your hands if you understand that. Making sure we have clean and clear police records. That is a serious part of the integrity of who we are as we travel forward. Because those of us who may not have current passports, those of us who may not have current visas to areas where we might be traveling and have to apply for visas, this is one thing that will be looked at on an international level, especially now during COVID-19, when the world is in turmoil. And also, don't forget, a lot of areas that you may travel to, or a lot of areas, especially here on the African continent, that are plagued with upheaval in places. Not so much in the Southern African region, but of course in our northern and northwestern regions, with the different factions of radical Islam and terrorism. We must be careful and do our due diligence to make sure that our police records are clean and clear, because these things are all looked at by the International Police or Interpol. Anytime that you are traveling to and from a conflict zone, as it's been called, you are under a different type of scrutiny than the average traveler. Do we understand that? Do you understand? So that's the first thing we want to do. Make sure that we have a clean and clear police record, and that we're on the good side of the law. So I will assume everyone here is that, or else you wouldn't be here at the class of Steele right now. But I'm going to suggest that as time permits, and that maybe as finances permit, you take the time and the opportunity to look to make sure you have a clean and clear police record, even from the most minor offense, that traffic violation for over speeding. I remember as His Excellency Dr. Steele told us last week that he's not gonna go into tell a fib and say he's never oversped before. I think at some point in time we all have, but that's really important. The bottom line is making sure that's clean and clear. The second thing that I'd like to mention, especially if we're going to travel in a global arena, as the class of Steele youth is preparing us for, is to make sure that we have current and up-to-date passports. Just from a show of hands, how many of us do have current and up-to-date passports? Everybody, current and up-to-date passports. You might want to, from time to time, look at your passport to make sure that the date is current, and to see when the expiration date is. Is it how far away it is? If you have some time, I know with my passports and with most, I believe the statute of limitations on that in terms of expiration is 10 years. So we want to make sure that our passports are current. And we want to do this because in a lot of areas, sometimes it may take time to get your passport back. Some areas may have rapid passport processing, where you can get your passport back in just a matter of days, but some may be a little longer period. Of course, it may be a backlog because a lot of things, I know the embassy here in the American embassy here in Botswana had been closed for quite a while, starting in 2020, because of the COVID-19 issue, and really had not opened up until recently. I don't know the status of the embassy and consulate in South Africa, which is our neighbor south of us. Dr. Uber may know a bit more about this, but that also was closed on a limited basis. So nothing was able to be done with passports. And if you're in a situation where your passport has expired or coming into the date of expiration, you definitely need to make sure that you get that done as soon as possible. As usual, I'm sure there are fees attached to the renewal of passports, excuse me, or getting a new passport if you have yours lost or stolen, making sure that's recorded by the local law enforcement or your embassy so that it can be taken care of and replaced as soon as possible. So that's the next thing. If you have any type of national identification, like here in Botswana, it's called an Omang, which is your national ID card. Make sure that too is up to date and you know where it is, and try to keep all of these documents in the same area. I don't know what the situation is in terms of COVID vaccinations in your area, and don't know whether or not that you have been vaccinated or not. That's a personal choice, and that's your business as to whether or not you want to do that. But keep in mind, a lot of areas that you may travel to, especially in those areas in the United Kingdom, the United States, and some parts of the EU, require that you do have a valid vaccination and a valid vaccination card before you enter the country. So we have to make sure that as we travel and we go forward, that those things are done. And I'm sure Your Excellency, Ms. Baringa will shed light on that too in her portion in terms of the travel. So that's one of the things that you want to make sure that you look into in terms of whether or not that's required in the areas where you will be traveling. Documentation too that you may need, not necessarily official originals, but it is always wise to travel with certain documents and like a birth certificate, for example. I find it necessary sometimes to make sure I have that as a backup, just as a backup to my passport, to prove my citizenship from my point of origin, and any other type of documentation like your itinerary. When you're traveling from point A to point B, it's always nice to have that too. And all these things should be kept in one particular area. Now we say that to say all this. How does that tie into integrity? In this in this day and age of security issues, you have to understand that lots of things changed after 9/11. Amen. I'm gonna repeat that again. Lots of things changed in the security field and security recognition and security protocols for international travel, even local travel in your area after 9/11. Before, as we all remember, we could travel pretty much anywhere we wanted to go without having to disrobe and declothe at the airports for checks. Now you almost have to get fully undressed just to go through the airport checkpoints. We want to make sure that these things are taken care of. In the event that there's any issues with security, everything on our end checks out. Our integrity checks out. We are who we say we are on the passport. Everything is current. Our national IDs are current. Nothing has been faked or counterfeited due to the fact your information for some reason or other may have been stolen from your home or out of your vehicle and into the hands of those ne'er-do-wells who may have the capabilities of counterfeiting official documents. Passport fraud and counterfeit is a real thing. Identity theft is a real thing. So we have to make sure that we do our due diligence in terms of our integrity to make sure, number one, all these things are up to date. And number two, we know where they are in our house. So we can put our hands on them and be ready in terms of travel and making sure we're able to go through checkpoints and security checkpoints as we travel. So these are just a few of the travel tips in terms of integrity that we want to make sure we have. We want to be impeccable when we travel. We don't want anybody to question our validity, especially if we're traveling in a group. We want to make sure that everything is seamless as we go forward. So we'll discuss some more of those tips and some more of those in terms of integrity, making sure we keep our integrity straight as far as making sure we keep all our paperwork up to date a little bit later on in this in the program. That's all I have for now, Dr. Uba, and Your Excellency Doreen Baringa. If you have anything that you want to chime in at this time, if Dr. Uba deems it so necessary, we can move to another portion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Um,
Hello.
yes, go on.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear
Dr.
you.
Uba, can I share?
Yes, Your Excellency. Yes, Your
Okay,
Excellency. Go ahead.
greetings from Uganda
Yeah,
to you all. How are you?
thank you. We are
Yes,
good.
I'm glad to be in the youth arm class of Steele. I'm so excited. I You're doing a good job. Thank you, Grandmother. Your Excellency Jenny Steele, I acknowledge your presence. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your submission, Grandmaster, about travel. Well, I would like to say that I have been in the travel industry since I was a young girl. Now I'm a grown-up woman. You can say I'm all gray. I well, I have my own agency called Beyond the Sky Tours and Travel. Well, thank you for the talk to discuss integrity and immigration. They go hand in hand. I think for integrity, um, you to learn integrity first with yourself before you actually uh, people see that you are of integrity. It begins with you. You have to be you have to have integrity from your mother's house, so that you can be a very good ambassador for your nation, for your own self. So integrity itself, in itself, it means for me honesty. You have to be honest. For you to be so successful in life, you have to be honest and upright. Many doors will open for you. And the best way to find out that is always with the travel experience. Travel experience requires honest integrity. If you apply, if you're traveling, for example, and you're going to the US or to the UK or to even South Africa, or to any country, should your information that you give does not tally with what you present, you're denied entry and you're put aside for questioning. So I want to urge the young people to to have a lot of integrity, to be honest, to be transparent in what you say and in what you put on paper. It is so important. So with traveling, you must know why you are traveling. Where are you going? Where is this destination where you're going to? What does it require me to get to that place where I want to go? Like, for example, me, I'm in East Africa. Right now in East African countries, you can just travel. We have now, we have Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan. 7 countries. 7 countries are in the East African community, and we have our countries have come together and have said we need an East African passport. East African passport, which allows us within the region. And then if you have a national identity card, you can travel still within the East African countries. And these East African countries have also said that if you get a visa for one country, you are permitted to travel within all these other countries. That's awesome for people who are not from East Africa. So you get a visa, for example, you get a visa for Uganda. You can go to Kenya without getting a visa for as long as you got a tourist visa. You are allowed to go into the East African countries. So the budget of traveling becomes cheaper and you have a variety of things to do in East Africa. You see culture, you see the economic development of that place, you see the social life of people, and you enjoy yourself in our East African country. So when you are traveling, you need to put certain things down. Why am I traveling? You have to know the purpose for which you are traveling. Many people just say, I just want to go here. Yes, it's good for you to have a feeling, but you should go there with a purpose. Because should you travel to that destination and you don't know exactly where you are going, you can actually put your life in harm's way. You don't know who is going to host you, what is the living conditions of that area, what is the security in that area. So you just don't wake up like this and go. Many people just say, I'm going. And many young people travel without having to have, they don't even have enough pocket money to keep them. You need to have pocket money with yourself. So prepare yourself properly before you think of traveling. If I want to go to Ghana, I say, okay, I want to go to Ghana. What do I need? I need a passport. I need a vaccination card. I don't have any friend in Ghana who is going to keep me in their house. So that means I'm going to stay in a hotel. If you have a friend in Ghana, that friend must send you an invitation letter, which states that probably I'm going to house you at my place for this period of time. But if that friend does not send you an invitation letter and you just want to go to Ghana, you must make sure that you have a hotel booking, you have a car to pick you up, and you have enough money to keep you in Ghana for those days. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to go to Ghana and become a refugee. So make sure that you know the purpose for which you're going and you're prepared for that travel. If you're going to Europe, make sure you have all the facts right. And the same with the US and all these first world countries. Make sure that you have your invitation letter, you have your hotel booking, you have all the facts. If you're going for studies, make sure you have the school enrollment letter that has given you that is inviting you to go and study there, and you have paid for the tuition. Everything is right. So with the class of Steele, what I have learned is that if you don't have integrity, there is a lot of limitation of seeing progress in your life if you don't have integrity. Not just for the class of Steele, but the class of Steele has discovered that without integrity, we can't do anything. Because even when you're talking from where you are, people listen to what you're saying, and they believe in what you're saying. Now, if you're not telling the truth, you're not being honest, then this platform is not yours. If you have a problem with integrity, you should change. You should change now. Decide to change now and work on integrity before you can spend a lot of years in your life trying to get to the top, and you cannot, because without integrity you can't go up. No doors will be opened for you. So it's so important. Many people, I remember in the travel industry, many people would go and travel to, for example, in the UK, and then they don't return, and then they send their passport back. Excuse me. Sorry. Don't overstay in a country if your visa has expired. It's about to expire. Don't you overstay in that country. You will become a liability of that country. You will be on the run. Life will be so difficult for you. You get yourself involved in so many things that would harm you. So I suggest that when your visa is done, go back to your country and only travel when you know what you are going to do and for that purpose you're going to do. Many of us in Africa, we have a myth that life is better in the West, life is better in more developed countries, but of us when go out there. So I suggest that you can actually develop from where you are. You go learn and bring what you have learned from there and come and implement and be impactful in your own country. So with traveling, you need to plan what do I need to do? I need to have a passport. I need to have a visa. Now, before we used to just have a visa and a passport and a vaccination card, but now we have to have the COVID, we have to have the PCR, you have to do the COVID test, you have to have the vaccine, you have to get vaccinated, you have to finish the 2 doses. In many countries, if you have not received your vaccine, you are compelled to do the test when you get to that country. For example, when I went to Dubai, I did my vaccine, the first dose, and then I also did the PCR test. The PCR, you have to do it within 72 hours before you travel. And when you get to, like when I got to Dubai, they performed a PCR testing again on me. So, and all of us in the team. So we got there, but it was free. Then we were in what is it called? I forget. For a day, because the results come within 24 hours. So we were quarantined for the day. The following day we got our results and it was negative. But when we were coming back, we had to pay for the PCR, the COVID testing. And so when I got to Uganda, because I was coming from Dubai, I was also compelled for another PCR, which was also costly on my side. But had I done the full vaccine for the 2 doses, when I went to Uganda, I would not be compelled to do the vaccine. Sorry, the PCR testing. So just comply with the regulations. You have to know, if you're going to a country, what is their COVID regulations? What are the COVID regulations of that country? It's very important for you. Each country has got its own regulations. So it's important for you to, on top of getting a visa, on top of getting every other document confirmed, it's important for you to have the COVID conditions of that country. You can be stopped from proceeding to where you are going just because of the COVID. And follow the rules. Follow the rules. Don't try to break the rules. Many of us young people, we want to try. Let me see if I don't do it, what will happen? At the end of the day, it will be expensive for you. You might be quarantined for 2 weeks. You might even catch COVID just because you did not abide by the rules. Wear your mask. Don't speak to people you do not know on the flight. When you're on the flight, do not speak to people you do not know. Do not carry someone's bag. Someone can say, oh, keep for me my bag. Or can I put this in your bag? You might not know what that person is giving you to carry. He might give you drugs for you to carry. And when they check you, or when you're checking out, they detect drugs in your bag. There and then they will pull you over and they will say that you are a drug dealer, and yet you are not. Somebody gave you something to carry for them, and then now you're being implicated. Such an incident happened to one of our famous musicians, artist. Was traveling to Japan. Someone gave her luggage to carry for him, and she said it's okay. But when she got to Tokyo and they checked, they found that she had a lot of cocaine in her bag. She was almost going to be sentenced to death. But because there were several cameras, they had to retrieve the cameras, security cameras, right from Uganda up to until she got to Japan. That is how she was exonerated, but she was going to be put on death penalty in Japan. So young people, I want to tell you that traveling is a very good experience. It exposes you to many things that you did not know, but always have the travel tips that are very important. The travel tips are: know where you are going, know the purpose for which you are going. Because when you are arriving where you are going, you want to know where are you going, who is phone number, their address, okay? How long are you going to be there? So they capture this information when you are checking, when you are exiting. For you as a foreigner, do not always have this information with you in your passport so that you're not taken off guard. If it's a hotel, they can even call and find out. Why? Because you are young. When you are young, everybody wants to take care of you, wants to make sure that you are safe. So if you have anything you would like to ask me, I am here. I don't know if I've covered all that you want, that I should share with you, but I'm here. You can ask me. I could have left out something.
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency, Doreen. Thank you for blessing us with that information. I'm seeing a hand raised up. Before I say anything further, let me try to get the audience from Bishop Dr. Comfort. Bishop Dr. Comfort, can you please unmute yourself? You raised your hand.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Uba. Nice to see you today. Greetings from Ghana. Your Excellency Grandmaster. Nice seeing you. Your Excellency Ambassador Doreen. It's good to hear all these presentations. And whilst you both were talking, some ideas came onto my mind. Certain things that I've passed through. Now I've traveled for some time. I've traveled by air and I've traveled by land. And I thought there were some thoughts that I want to share. If Dr. Uba and Grandmaster will allow me, I have some few comments that I want to share. Can I go ahead, please? First one about travel.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Thank you so much. One about travel that I have come to know, especially number one, with visas. If you are going in for a visa, this is where integrity steps in. I always say that if you say the truth, when you are sleeping and you wake up, you'll still say the same thing. So when you are going for visa, you don't try to cut corners. Go with the appropriate papers. For example, the documents, if you are a worker, what you need, your passport, as Ambassador Doreen, Her Excellency has said, and the Grandmaster has said, with your passport. And if you're a worker, you take along office permission letter that they have let you, maybe it's on leave, you are going on leave. And then also your pay slip, something that is an evidence of who you are. You can also get some few documents which are just the truth about. I remember when the first time I was going to US, I wrote 3 weeks. They asked me, why 3 weeks? Come back for an election. I don't know how I can overstay there. Went to US, they also asked me, how long do I want to stay? I told them 3 weeks, you see. And they gave me 3 months. In Accra, when I asked for the whole visa, I asked for 3 weeks. They gave me 1 year. When I got to New York, they asked me, sorry, Los Angeles, they asked me, I said 3 weeks. And in fact, I stayed there 3 weeks. You understand? So that next time when you want to go, you don't have any difficulty. That's one thing I learned. The second thing I've learned is also about time. You have to be very careful about your schedule. You watch the schedule that they have given to you, and if it's 8 o'clock departure, you don't have to go 7:45. You have to go well ahead of time. They will indicate the time you have to be there. Make sure you are there and make sure everything goes as accordingly. Right from Los Angeles, I was informed that travel back to Ghana will be tedious. Of course, when I was going, it was tedious. So I was advised to pass to 2 states. By the grace of God, I had chance to visit those 2 places because I knew people there. But the last place that I was living, the host told me that first he asked me the time. I did not watch the schedule very well. I gave him the departure time, and he dropped me at the airport. He had wanted to take me through to the end. Oh, that's okay, you go, I can handle things myself. For me to get at the counter to see that I have been late. They were closing the gate. And I was trying to say every good thing for them to open. And no, they didn't. The woman who was at the counter was trying to tell me that what the time is, when even if they send me to the next flight, I can't make it because you have to pass through Germany. That was my ticket schedule, pass through Germany. And the time that would take me from the getting up from the plane and to checking in everything and boarding the next flight, it will not be possible. The woman got up and I was trying to cut corners. Those people that try to get me, try to put me down, there is a need for me to go through. So they were trying, and the woman came back. She said, am I speaking Spanish? She told her colleagues, am I speaking Spanish? This lady cannot make it with such 1.5 hours from the time she gets up from the plane, checking in everything, and then go to what her plane. Whatever happened, it has happened. I couldn't do anything but to find my way out. And the lady approached me and told me to go to the other terminal 4, and then rest and come the next day. The next day, I was able to come back refreshed. And then I also had an opportunity. The person I met at the counter saw my passport, said, oh, pastor, then you're going to fly light. So sometimes when you become obedient and you don't try to cut down, you don't try to force your way out, you have favors. Since that time, I was very, very mindful of my flight details. And also when it comes to forbidden items, don't try to hide something in your bag and say you don't have it. If they don't want those items to be carried along, don't take them along. That's one thing I've learned. And also, when you are going to a place, try to learn whether certain items are being allowed. Maybe food stops or other things that have to be taken. If not, just drop them. Don't worry yourself helping anybody overseas with the items they need. The other point that I also jot that down is that you don't overstay. If you are given 6 months, try to spend the 6 months or less than 6 months. But if something crops up immediately, take your passport to the visa office and then explain yourself with the necessary document for you to. I think the first time I went to South Africa, I experienced it. We had a conference, and then later on there were other issues that we wanted to do. Then our friends advised us that let's take you to the authorities and then have your visa extended. And those who didn't do it had problems. Those of us who did it were able to stay for the following 2 weeks that we were there. And with other countries like the West African zone, they should have given us West African passport or to allow us to go freely. It is said, it is a saying, but it's not in the doing. You usually don't experience it that way. I remember one time I was traveling to Nigeria, just as my grandmaster said, you have to put all your documents together. When I was in the Union Front, I always have my passport in my bag because you are in a position that when anything happens, then you have to seek asylum somewhere so that you just fly out. But for a time when I left the Union, I forget about my passport. Sometimes it's in my bag, sometimes in the. And then we were traveling to Nigeria. The time we left, when I'm in Kumasi, but when we reached Accra to Togo, then I remember that I've left my passport in the house. But thank God I had other documents. But that other documents were not so strong enough for me to pass through. So I had all that I had to do was to pray and ask God, I can't go back. I have to travel. And one of the men were saying that, oh, let us say that you are my wife so that we can go through and then everything will be successful. I said, no, not knowing that one of the men at the counter inside there, they heard it. So if I had agreed, that would have been my end. I would have been sent back. So when they said, no, 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 I'm not anybody's wife, I'm my own, and I've left my passport, but this is my license for a ministry. If they can help me in the bit, they let me do. But we have, in the French-speaking country, we have something we call laissez-passer, a document that also allows you to travel without your passport. You must try and get it. And if you have it, it is okay, but you don't have it, you don't have to venture. You may not be lucky to go through without those documents. I know you young people, you like what should I say, going for a ride, doing things that people tell, oh, this one is doesn't matter, you can do this, you can do that. No, just listen to the authorities, what they are telling us, and then do your best. And also one thing that if possible, you take photograph of your luggage. That can also help you. So that in time that it happens that your luggage has been displaced, maybe somebody is also using the same color, the same size, the same everything. But there may be one or two things that you use to mark. That my siblings who are outside normally tell us that when you are coming, mark your bag in a way. And these are the submissions that I want to add to what my excellency. Thank you so much, for allowing me to deliver.
Okay, thank you, Bishop Dr. Comfort from Ghana. I appreciate your submission. I also want to appreciate His Excellency, Grandmaster, for his submission. He took us on the security aspect of integrity because it's important for us to understand that this thing begins with you. It begins with you. For you to go out there, for instance, if you are traveling, you have to first of all do a kind of personal assessment of yourself, check your documentations, put them right, make sure that what you have is exactly who you are. Don't try to impersonate someone else. This is important because it might not go well with you if you do that, because you need to understand that those are the security checkpoints or immigration checkpoints are specialists trained in this field to check you psychologically, to read your body language, how you behave at the point of entry when you get to the airport for someone who is traveling from another country to another country. So they have security cameras out there watching you from when you step down from the plane, when you're about to be checked in, or when you're about to get a border pass, whatever, they are just watching you. So there are people who are there to do that work. That's where the security starts, right from your country to that point of entry. And most times we make this mistake of collecting items we don't even know what the contents are when we are traveling. This is very dangerous. This have really ruined the lives of many people, ignorantly, innocent people who don't even know that they are going to walk into trouble by themselves for trying to collect items. They don't know what the contents are. Like Her Excellency shared with us here this evening. Her Excellency Doreen said that it is not wise to take things that you don't know what's on the inside, because that might implicate you and lead you to jail, which is very correct. So on this note, I would also like to bring on board, let me see, I would like to bring on board Her Excellency to speak to us on integrity generally, if she's still online. Let me see. Okay. Her Excellency Jenny Steele, if she's still online, I would like to bring her aboard. Okay, I don't think she's online. I don't think she's online. Is she online?
Yes.
She's online. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to locate her and unmute her. Okay, she's online. Okay. Your Excellency, is
Yes.
yes, Jenny is still yes.
Thank
Yes.
you, Mr. Uber.
Okay. You're welcome. I would like you to just give us a view of what you can add to this discussion on integrity generally, or whether it's on security or on immigration or integrity in general. So just add your voice. I would like to hear from you today. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I agree with everything that was spoken this evening, that was discussed and mentioned by yourself, Her Excellency Doreen, Grandmaster, and Bishop Comfort. And the other thing I would like to add to what they said with regards to travel, immigration, security, and your passport is that at this time, and it has been going on for quite a while, we are now in the age where they're doing our biometrics for our passport, where they're scanning our eyes or taking our fingerprints. In some cases now, they're even doing voice recognition. So being your truest self is very important in light of this, because of this technology that's being used, we can't actually hide. So when you're traveling, the immigration in one country could communicate with the immigration in another country to determine if you are who you say you are. So it's very important to be yourself, to do what you say you are going to do, be where you say you are, where you're going to be, so that you can safeguard yourself and the others around you. A lot of times, as the others had mentioned, persons would go to countries as some person else and not as themselves, and they would find themselves in trouble. And then when they need assistance, they're not able to get the assistance they need because they haven't actually traveled as who they are supposed to be. And they're not able to engage any help from the consulate or from the police or anything in that matter, or even from their own country. So in order to safeguard yourself as well in any situation, you need to be who you say you are. As well, that we know there are loads of cameras following us all over the place, and especially here in the UK and the US, there are lots of cameras. There are lots of cameras all over the world now. So that too is an indication that you really can't hide and do something, and you have to be really upfront in all your dealings, because we're not in the age where we can hide and do anything. And when you're going to do something for someone as well, know the person you're doing it before. Know if that person is an honest person or not before you say yes to doing anything for people. Because as the others had said earlier, innocent persons try to assist out of the kindness of their hearts to assist persons in taking a package across, and they find themselves in trouble. So know the person, don't be so kind as to want to help everyone. Know the person that you're helping, know the person's level of integrity, know if that person is a trustworthy person. If you have any inclination, go with your gut feeling as well. If you have any inclination that something doesn't seem right about a situation or about something that you have, don't go with it as well. Because sometimes people come to you just because they know that you will be willing to assist, but they have an ulterior motive behind what they're doing. So before you agree to do anything for anyone, whether it's being traveling, at work, in your own family, in your community, when you are going to put your own character on the line, know the individual that you are going to be doing it for or working with to safeguard your own self as well. That's what I would say to you with regards to the security for travel and integrity. In closing, integrity as a whole is important for your own success, for your own moving forward. Integrity is important. People like to work most with those they know that they can trust, those who will do what they say they will do, those who are dependable. So if you are working with integrity, you will get the assistance. You would even attract persons of integrity to yourself, like-minded individuals that will help you move forward. So integrity is very important to achieving your success. So I pray that all that has been said and said here has really impacted you and given you a wide picture, a great picture of integrity and why it is important to your own personal success. And if you have any questions or any queries, you know that we are available to clarify those questions for you. Thank you, Dr. Uber, for allowing me. Dr. Uber, are you still with us? I think Dr. Uber may have dropped out. I am not seeing him with us. Oh, I'm seeing you now, Dr. Uber. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Dr. Over everyone, Your Excellency, and yourself.
I think Dr. Uber is having a bit of challenges with joining us. Okay. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions, any comments that you would like to make? Oh, I'm still not sure if you will be able to unmute yourself though, because Dr. Uber isn't here. Doreen, are you able to unmute yourself?
Let me see.
Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You've muted yourself again. Unmute yourself, Your Excellency. My apologies to everyone. I am not able to unmute anyone as Dr. Uber is the host of the meeting. So he's the only person with the authority right now to unmute. Dr. Uber, you're the host of the meeting. I'm not able to unmute you. Dr. Uber, you are the host. I'm not able to unmute you. I'm sorry. Oh, to Ashley. How did that happen? Ashley? The hosting appears to have been transferred to you. Are you able to unmute Dr. Uber if that's the case? Okay. All right. Okay, Ashley. Okay. That's all right. Okay, let's continue then. I have a question and I would, and I can't unmute anyone myself. So I can't even direct the question. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I have a question. I'll ask Her Excellency Doreen to answer the question in the chat since we're not able to unmute anyone, so we're going to improvise. So I will ask the question, Your Excellency Doreen, if you are hearing the question, please respond in the chat.
Hello.
Have you unmuted? I can hear you, Doreen. Oh, you're muted again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask the question, and you can type the response in the chat, and we can read it from the chat. And the question is asked by Uchenna Pretty. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And her question is, she's asking, if you've missed your flights, you missed your flight schedule in a foreign country, what are the procedures to rectify such?
Yes,
yeah.
I am unmuted.
Good. Have you heard that question, Your Excellency?
Can you please repeat the question, please?
It was asked, if you have missed your flight schedule and you're in a foreign country, what are the procedures to rectify this issue?
Jenny, there are about 3 ways through which you can rectify the issue. 1, speak to the airline crew, go to the airline of that flight that you are going to take. Ask them if you can have your ticket changed to any available flight. If it is not there, then you ask them which other available day is available. But many times when you go to the airline office at the airport, they will always advise you to contact the person from whom you bought the ticket from. If you got the ticket from the airline, then they'll be able to, they will advise, they can be able to change it there and then, or at the office and have that changed. If it's a travel agency, you call your travel advisor, you will say, okay, the flight there is a next flight in another back home. Let me stay here for 2 hours and then board, take the next flight. But then usually when you miss flight, they are always, Comfort was telling us that you should always keep time. Time is very important. If they tell you check in at the airport 3 hours before your flight, and you're like, I'll check in 1 hour to the flight. Counters closed on you, you have missed. They can't allow you to enter. So you become what they call a no-show person. A no-show person is charged a no-show fee. Some airlines have $300 for no-show. And others have $400 by airline or the flight rules. Because of so many abuse of people taking check-in time for granted, they want to arrive late. So they're like, okay, you've arrived late, but you're going to have to pay $300. On top of that, you pay change of reservation of flight. Sometimes the ticket, to change the ticket might require you $150, $100. So why not check in early to avoid all those costs? It is so expensive to change your ticket. So you have to have your airline, you have to have your travel agency number in case of delayed check-in. They can always check you in where they are. They check you in and send you your boarding pass. So that when you get there, you're not going to go through the process and then the flight leaves you. When you have already checked in, you just take your luggage, they weigh it and you go. So, and then the travel consultant notifies the airport, the airline that so-and-so is going to arrive late and have already checked that person in. So when you appear on the counter, you say you have already checked in, you have a seat confirmed, the airline will take you. So that is how you can handle that situation. But it's very costly for you to miss a flight, especially if you're a foreigner in that country. If you are staying in the hotel, you will be required to go back to that hotel. It might be full and you have to look for another hotel. Then the transportation, the costs are too high to miss a flight. Don't you miss your flight because it's expensive. I don't know if I've answered you.
I hope you have answered the question.
Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. I hope you've been able to answer the question for the person. I think I'm trying to unmute persons, but though I made the host, I'm having challenges with unmuting or asking persons to unmute themselves. So there's another question, and I believe I would have to read the questions for you. Doreen, I would like you to answer this question as well, if you may.
Okay.
So there is a question from Ambassador Kierkbo. Please forgive me, everyone, if I pronounce your name incorrectly. I would learn your names, and as I get to actually have chats with you, I would get to know how to pronounce your names correctly. So the question he asked was, he said, he's asking about a visa. And his question is, if you are going for a visa, but the time for your travel is close and you're traveling, so it's like if you're traveling, you have your ticket for travel, but you don't yet have your visa and your time for travel is close. Like if your time for travel, your passport, your ticket is for, say, tomorrow, but your visa has not yet been issued, what is your next step?
Thank you. You can hear me, Jenny?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for that question. I suggest that you don't travel because with a visa gives you the authorization to buy your ticket. So why purchase a ticket before you get a visa? You can be rejected. They don't give you a visa. You will not travel. So don't ever issue a ticket unless you have a visa. First, get your visa. You just make a flight booking, get it confirmed, and then you wait for your visa to be given to you because it can come out as rejected. And for the airline, of course, they are going to refund the ticket, but they will not refund you the full amount of the money that you have paid. Usually they can take off, I don't know, cancellation fees, their service fees. If you're paying $1,000, you might be refunded like $700. So don't lose money like that. Don't waste money. Always first get the right documents before you buy a ticket. Don't buy a ticket unless you have a visa. Only you can buy a ticket to destinations where you don't require a visa, or a visa, you get it on arrival. Then you can buy a ticket. Yeah.
Thank you for that answer, that reply, Your Excellency Doreen. I hope that it has answered his question. There is another question from Princess Henrietta, and she is speaking with regards to persons who have traveled abroad and had their passports seized, said that their passports were seized and they had to do unmentionable works to survive. How would that person be able to return back to his or her respective country if they're faced with such a predicament?
Okay. First of all, we would like to know why were their passports seized. And once that is affirmative, it's better for them to go to their embassy. If that country has got their embassy, they will go and present themselves. They will present their case, and it will be that embassy that evacuate them, will help them with the necessary documentation to allow them to return. That's the only place they can go, no any other. It's the embassy. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency Doreen. Grandmaster had mentioned that for all these reasons are why it's important to follow the airline protocols and follow check-in times and all the rules surrounding the protocols for travel from your airline. Yes, and that's very important as well. You should always check to know what your airline is telling you to do, know the procedures that the airline is following before you travel. On that note, one of the things that have happened to several persons with regards to the COVID test, when the PCR tests were, certificates were first introduced, a lot of persons missed their flight and travel because they didn't know that that was now a requirement. So I believe that requirement came out on September 3rd, I think it was last year. September 1st last year, and some persons had flights scheduled for that same time. And without checking their airline for the protocols or what was new or for the updates, it was said that there were quite a number of persons who had to miss their flights or who had flights canceled because they were not up to date with the current protocols. So that too is very important. When you don't just buy your ticket and then turn up at the airport. Do always check with the airline to see what are the current protocols in place for your travel, even up until the night before or hours before your travel. Check with the airline protocols. I have a question from Emanuela, and she's asking, is the class of Steele will charge your accommodation? Oh, she's speaking about traveling with the class of Steele. So when there will be conferences, workshops, opportunities to travel with the class of Steele abroad. And when those occasions come, we will prep you for those occasions. We will give you letters of invitations as well. You will know all the protocol. You would have a person in your respective country who will be your leader for the travel. So that person, everything concerning what you will need to know, what you will need to do, where you will need to be, who you will need to report to will come through that person. Every single thing you will have to be sure to speak to that one person who would have all the information for you. Everything regarding your travel, the booking of your flights, the accommodation, there will be one person, your central person, like for instance, Grandmaster will be for Botswana, and everything regarding to your travel and class of Steele's responsibilities for you will be coming through his Grandmaster Scott for Botswana. For Uganda, it will be Your Excellency Doreen, and so on and so forth. So you will have a class of Steele leader in each country that will be your representative, that will be responsible for everything with regards to any events that the class of Steele will be hosting or taking you anywhere around the world. You wouldn't have to worry. There will be meetings, there will be follow-ups. We will make sure that we have everything covered with regards to your travel, as that will be our responsibility. Grandmaster, I see you have your hand up. I am still having challenges with unmuting persons. Ashley, I know you said you made me the host, but can you see if I'm still the host and if you can unmute persons for me? Because though I'm trying to, I'm still not able to unmute for some reason. I'm not able to unmute persons. Is Ashley still here? I'm still the host. I'm still the host. I'm trying to unmute persons. Everyone, please forgive me. Forgive me, but I'm not able to unmute and I don't know why. So I will continue to go with the flow. So let me check the chat again and let me see if there are any more questions in the chat. Please bear with me. I'm checking the chat to see if there are any other questions. Okay, there is a question. Your Excellency Doreen, are you still available to answer this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still unmuted that you can answer the question?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, so the question, the person is asking, they're saying there's a trend of cheap tickets online with several sites. And due to financial constraints, is it advisable to deal with such sites?
Wow. Well, yeah, it's advisable if it's advisable. Their rates are really cheap, but you have to know which site is this. Is it an airline site that you know that is recognizable, not just any airline that is not on the globe. Just give, yes, please. Hello. Hello. Yes, please.
Embarrassed my wife like this. How did wife get to be hosting the meeting?
Oh,
All the time. Don't let them embarrass her like this.
no. Oh gosh. What's the matter?
Okay, doctor.
Come close, please. Don't embarrass her like this. Can't chat and can't on. I understand what has happened.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Sorry. I have a what I cannot have, maybe Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways is having an online reservation platform. I'm comfortable. You can buy the ticket. Okay. You can buy the ticket, but usually why I would not encourage someone who is always a frequent flyer. I would not advise them to buy tickets online because the tickets online are usually problematic. You can't change flight. You have lost it. Hello, Doctor. Miss Dr. Uber just couldn't. He. Okay. Yes, I am. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, doctor. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Doreen. Continue.
Hello?
Your Excellency, Doreen?
Yes,
go on.
First Lady. Yes, I'm here. I'm here, Janie. What I was saying is that I would like to say that online tickets are good for budget people who are one-time travelers, but if you're a frequent flyer, don't buy an online ticket because anything can happen. I have got so many people buy tickets online who have traveled from Europe coming to Africa. And when they get to Africa, something happens and they want to change their tickets. And I can't get the seats. And those tickets are lost and we end up giving them new tickets. And even you, for your comfort, it's better to get the ticket from the travel agency or from the airline, not an online ticket, because those tickets are very budget, really budget. They have strict conditions. So they only appear on that platform, but on the public platform, they are not there. Those fares are not there. They are cheap, yes, but we cannot access them. The airlines cannot access them, but they're online. But for your comfort, who is a traveler, and you know that you can miss your flight, and something can happen, I would strongly advise that you buy your tickets from the travel agency or from the airline. I would like to take on from here, our First Lady Ambassador Jenny Steele. I can close the meeting on your behalf, if you don't mind.
Go on.
I would like to do that. I would like, yeah. So let's thank you so much, First Lady James. Take it on from here. Let me see if we have any other question. I'm going through the questions. Sorry. We answered Princess, we answered Prince Matthew. That one is there. Most of the questions. Hello. Are we there? Hello? 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 Can somebody hear me? You can hear me? You can hear? I can't hear myself. Okay. Hello? Hello? Oh, God. Hello?
Your Excellency, Doreen, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, okay. Because I'm not hearing anything. I was thinking that you were not hearing me.
Yes, we apologize to everyone for the technical challenges we have been having throughout the evening, but I would agree, and I'm sure everyone will concur with me. It has been a very good session so far. Yes. And we're almost time to closing. So
all right. Yeah, Princess asks this question. I would like to find out some travelers manage to return and give the story that their passports were, okay, had already been answered, seized. This one we answer it. Question, Ambassador Al-Haji. Ambassador Al-Haji, question, should, in case you go for a visa, but the time that one has also been answered. The person to click the speaker. Also, Uchenna pretty has been answered. Ofosu Daniel says, please, I suggest we create a universal platform so that all the discussions and items will be shared after each class, please. Your Excellency, Jenny Steele, can you answer that question?
Yes, all the meetings, you will find them on YouTube. All meetings, you will find them on YouTube. So go on YouTube, type in the class of Steele, and you will see all the messages there. This is our second live class so far. So you will see last Saturday's class there, and you will also see this Saturday's class there, and continuing every Saturday, the classes are live, so you'll be able to view them. If there are classes that are closed to the public, we will let you know, and those persons who are in the class, the link for the meeting will be made available for your viewing.
Thank you, Jenny Steele.
Yes, and you're also
then Ambassador from Grandmaster. This is what. Yes, Jenny.
sorry,
You are still saying something?
sorry, Your Excellency. I was just saying to everyone that they're free to also share the meetings as well, so others can have the information.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Grandmaster made this submission. He said, I believe it to be prudent and beneficial for myself and Her Excellency Birunji to perhaps create a list of necessary items and general protocols needed to prepare yourselves for travel as we go forth from the class of Steele youth. Thank you for your submission. I'm okay with it. Okay. Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Please upload the info for this.
Oh, okay, doctor, I've done that.
Upload them and use the microphone, please. I beg.
I am doing
And
that.
by the way, understand that there are over 30 persons in the class, and it's not just a few that I could see on the YouTube.
So I've removed it. Chizoba said you should make sure your international passport is in order. Thank you for your submission. That is very important. When you say it is in order, meaning that it's valid, and when somebody says that your international passport must be in order, it has to be valid for travel. You can have a passport that is valid for 10 years, but then on the 10th year, you don't have enough months to allow you to travel. The passport must be valid 6 months, 6 months ahead before you travel. If it's 5 months before it expires, then you cannot travel. You have to renew your passport. That is important. So you always have to be checking your passport to make sure that you, when you're about to travel, you are in order, you are still in. And also, if you're a frequent flyer, if you're frequent your passport, which is valid for 10 years, for you, it can be valid for 1 year, because all the pages could be used up and you have to renew to go and get a new passport. So you should always watch out on that one so that you don't buy your ticket and you think you can travel, and when you get to the airport, you are denied. It has never happened to me. I was traveling to Dubai and my passport was about, for me, I carried the expired passport and I left the valid passport. So separate, either you step on the two passports or you get away
Everyone, I thank you so very much for your patience with us this evening. I thank you for being here. You have been a wonderful audience. I loved your questions. Thank you, Grandmaster Scott, for what you have shared with us. It has been very enlightening, and I'm sure for all of us, very informative. Many takeaways here today. Thank you, Your Excellency Doreen Burunji. Yourself have also done a wonderful job. Thank you, Dr. Bishop Comfort, for also sharing. And thank you, Dr. Uba, for being here for us this evening. I look forward to seeing you all next Saturday. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your questions. And we apologize once again for all the technical challenges we had this evening, but look forward to the many other wonderful classes that we will have with you in the following Saturdays. Once again, may God bless you, your families and your communities and your nation at large. And we look forward to seeing you again next Saturday, same place, same time. God bless you. We love you and take care. Bye for now, everyone.